Now, I turned 38 last December 7th. And I must admit, it was a melancholy moment to know that 1/4 of my life is already over. So, anyway, by the time I landed at Dallas, yes, I survived, folks. I had finished the song. I'd like to sing it for you tonight. It's on the new album. I think it's one of the best lyrics I've ever written in my life. It's called Story of a Life. Would you put on some really recapitulation-type lights? Can you see it out
I'm
there?
sitting here at the home of Harry Chapin, a man who has affected my life in many ways, a man who cared about people, and a man who proved what one man's life can be worth. My name is Dave Miller, and I'm here to tell you the story of a life. Harry Chapin's story of a life.
Here's the song. I can see myself, it's a golden sunrise, young boy, open up your eyes, it's supposed to be your day. Now off you go, horizon bound, and you won't stop until you find your own kind of way. And the wind will rip your towels old hair, the sun, the rain, the sweet despair, brave tales of love and strife. And somewhere on your path to glory, you will write your story of a life. And all the towns that you walk through, and all the people that you talk to, sing you their songs. And there are times you change your stride, there are times you can't decide, still you go on. And then the young girls dance their gypsy tunes and share the secrets of the moon. So soon you find a wife. And though she sees your dreams go poorly, still she joins your story of a life.
Harry Forrester Chapin is born on December 7th, 1942, the first step to a life story. Born in New York City on West 11th Street by the Hudson River Piers, Harry lives in a 3-room apartment with his 3 brothers. Harry is born one of 6 boys to Esbeth and Jim Chapin. Jim Chapin is a jazz drummer who plays with Tommy Dorsey and Woody Herman, which splits up his once ideal marriage while constantly on the road. A stepfather appears, and the Chapins move to Brooklyn Heights. Harry and his brothers Tom and Steve join the Grace Church Choir, and Harry begins taking trumpet lessons. Harry turns down a Juilliard scholarship in classical trumpet for girls and guitars. And in 1958, the Chapin brothers form a band and begin to play at $20 parties. In 1960, Harry is a graduate of high school and accepts an appointment to the Air Force Academy, but resigns after 3 months. Harry is now off to Cornell University for 3 terms. He returns later for another 3 terms and leaves for good in 1964. Harry leaves the music scene and turns to filmmaking. He works on over 300 films and wins an Academy Award nomination for his documentary, The Legendary Champions. Harry begins writing a number of screenplays and musicals, hoping to break into feature films. During the next 3 years, Harry divides his time between writing films, poetry, musicals, and screenplays. And in November 1968, he marries Sandy Gaston. They later set up house in Huntington, Long Island, with Sandy's 3 children from her previous marriage, Jamie, Jono, and Jason. In 1970, he lands a job writing songs for the ABC Emmy Award-winning TV show Make-A-Wish. During a 1971 slump in the film industry, Harry leaves and applies for a hack license to support his now pregnant wife and 3 children. On the day he were to begin driving his cab, he receives 3 film jobs. Putting away the money he has made, Harry decides to get serious about his music and forms a band. They play the summer of '71 at the Village Gate in New York City. The band is instant success. After long deliberation, Harry finally signs with Elektra Records. In the months that follow, the group goes to LA for 6 months to record their first album, Heads and Tails. From the album, a hit song breaks through the charts and is the most requested song for 10 consecutive weeks throughout the country. Harry Chapin's first hit song, Taxi.
Much more for us to talk about. Whatever we had once was gone. So I turned my cab into the driveway, past the gate and the fine trim lawns. And she said, we must get together, but I knew it'd never be arranged. Then she handed me $20 for a $2.50 fare. She said, Harry, keep the change. Well, another man might have been angry, and another man might have been hurt, but another man never would let her go. I stashed the bill in my shirt, and she walked away in silence. It's strange how you never know, but we'd both gotten what we'd asked for such a long, long time ago.
In 1972, Harry is nominated for a Grammy for Best New Artist of the Year and wins Billboard's Trendsetter Award for a storytelling style of songwriting with a narrative import rare to popular music. 1973 and 74 brings more songs and albums to the Chapins. Harry and Sandy have another child. Their son Josh is born. In the same year, Harry earns himself a #1 gold record hit. Harry sang this song, but it was his wife Sandy who was the writer to this hit song, Cats in the Cradle.
A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it, and as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad, you know I'm gonna be like you. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay, and he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. It said, I'm gonna be like him, yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, the little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then.
In tune with his career, Harry writes and performs in a Broadway hit, The Night That Made America Famous. Harry is nominated for another Grammy for Best Performance of a Male Vocalist. Harry comes out with a book of poems and song lyrics in 1975 and dedicates the book Looking Seen to his wife Sandy. Harry gets his first training in community activism from Allard Lowenstein during his congressional campaign of 1970. Now Harry begins doing benefit concerts when the Performing Arts Foundation of Long Island pleads with him for help. Harry says, why don't more successful people get involved in society and get involved in things worthwhile? Harry believed in the American dream and that we should all be able to care about other people and that we should all dream. From benefits for PAF, Harry becomes involved in world hunger. In 1975, Harry wants to make this world a better place to live. During the next 15 months, Harry and his friend Reverend Bill Ayers found the World Hunger Year, a not-for-profit organization to end man's greatest problem, hunger. Harry's brother James, a professor, later joins the board of directors at World Hunger Year. Harry said, We think we ended world hunger with UNICEF concerts. And we think we ended racial problems with Peter, Paul, and Mary singing on the steps of Washington, D.C. Harry becomes a strong believer in hunger because he is disgusted in a society that can feed every human being 6 times over in the United States of America. And there are still 20 million Americans hungry today. In February 1978, Harry resolves to promote a presidential commission on hunger. Harry's energy is tireless. He corners congressmen in bathrooms to gain their votes and commitments to end world hunger. In collaboration with Bill Ayers, Harry's career is launched as a hunger activist. There are 3 necessities of life, Harry said: water, air, and food. It is not a luxury. Without it, we cannot live. Ralph Nader says that Harry's movement is the single most effective lobbying effort of an outsider that he has ever seen. After a joint resolution passes both houses of Congress, Harry goes to the White House to meet with President Jimmy Carter. Carter establishes the Presidential Commission on World Hunger, and Harry is appointed to serve as one of the 20 commissioners. Harry also begins doing more than 200 concerts a year, more than half to benefit world hunger and the arts on Long Island. Harry raises $5 million for hunger and donates $500,000 to the arts on Long Island. Harry also begins writing songs about these starving children. One of my favorites, The Shortest Story.
I am born today. The sun burns a promise in my eye. Mama strikes me and I draw a breath and cry. Above me a cloud softly tumbles through the sky. I am glad to be alive. It is my 7th day. I taste the hunger and I cry. My brother and sister cling to Mama's side. She squeezes her breast, but it has nothing to provide. Someone weeps, I fall asleep. It is 20 days today. Mama does not hold me anymore. I open my mouth, but I am too weak to cry. Above me, a bird slowly crawls across the sky. Why is there nothing now to do but die?
Harry's involvements begin to grow more and more. He becomes very concerned with his home area on Long Island and the world in which we all live. Some of Harry Chapin's dreams for Long Island included his money and his mouth. He said, "The Performing Arts Foundation of Long Island must survive." The Performing Arts Foundation is our major cultural cornerstone on Long Island. For a community of 3 million people with the highest per capita income, to not allow the Performing Arts Foundation, the Iglevsky Ballet, or the Long Island Philharmonic to survive here is sad. The next dream of Harry Chapin's is education. He said, "The best brains of our time come from people under the age of 25. Wouldn't it be great if the colleges on Long Island, such as Hofstra University, Adelphi, C.W. Post, and Stony Brook, and have them each take on a major problem of today, such as inflation, welfare, world hunger, balance of trade, and disease, and have them pick a field and interested students with it." During 1976 and 77, Chapin is busy keeping the Performing Arts Foundation and the Iglevsky Ballet on their feet. Harry becomes a member of the Long Island Action Committee and serves on the board of directors at Hofstra University. Those who know Harry see him constantly moving fast, jotting down song lyrics in an ever-present spiral notebook, or composing a new tune on the guitar at his side. He does a fine job of balancing hunger meetings, concerts, television appearances, speaking engagements, and in the leadership on Long Island. Harry once said, "I have had more big failures in the past 5 years than anyone could ever dream of having in a lifetime." But he loved the risks as much as the success, and never appeared to slow down enough to take himself too seriously. He said, "I would rather be wrong than frightened," and that the reason for his success is that he is willing to make an ass of himself, and that when you're in doubt about doing something, you should do it. His philosophy is what made Harry so unique. He always kept right on moving, despite any disappointment. Harry is also known for changing a concert at the last minute from personal income to a benefit if someone couldn't meet a payment. And that too shows how special Harry Chapin is. Harry quotes Pete Seeger as saying, "I don't know if any effort or benefit of mine has ever caused a single change. But I do know that I have been involved with the live eyes, the live hearts, and the live minds." In 1979, Sandy inspires Harry to write a sequel to his hit song Taxi. Although Chapin never sells an overwhelming number of records, his more than 200 concerts a year are always sung to a full sellout crowd. Now entering his 10th year as a musician, Harry comes out with his 11th album, with a backup hit to Taxi, Sequel.
So here she's acting happy inside her handsome home. And me, I'm flying in my taxi, taking tips and getting stoned. I got into town a little early, had 8 hours to kill before the show. First I thought about heading up north of the bay, then I knew where I had to go. I thought about taking a limousine, or at least a fancy car, and how the circle keeps rolling around, how I act as I'm facing the footlights, and how she's flying with both feet on the ground. I guess it's a sequel to our story from the journey between heaven and hell, with half the time thinking of what might have been, and half thinking just as well. I guess only time will tell.
Harry's new development in 1980 is Long Island Cares, another not-for-profit organization committed to advancing a comprehensive regional food policy for Long Island. Harry also credits his wife, Sandy, with much of his success. She is the one who gets him involved in social issues and writes with him. Sandy is the single force behind the original idea for the Presidential Commission on Hunger. We know Harry is a folk singer. He sings story songs. But on his sequel album, he has a very sincere song that he writes to Sandy, which he called, "I Finally Found It, Sandy."
Every day is beginning, I can feel it in my bones. It's not what you are winning, it don't matter what you own. It is more than just a feeling, more than just a song. It's something like a healing, and I feel it coming strong. Oh yeah, we have got our history, our secrets are all known. And if we've lost the mystery, at least we both have grown. There'll be strangers in our future, changes in our world. But a man can love a woman more than a little boy and girl. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yes, I finally found it, Sandy. Baby, this time.
Harry lives his life in the fast lane. After doing a concert in another city, he would fly home on his private plane, jump in his car, and drive swiftly to be able to be home for breakfast with his family. He lives as if time and life were always running out. On July 16, 1981, only hours before a benefit concert, singer, songwriter, and philanthropist, 38-year-old Harry Chapin is killed in an automobile accident on the Long Island Expressway. I felt the Northport Observer put it best, as a jolt, of course, a sudden shock that cut deep in the hearts of thousands who loved him. The news spread quickly, like wildfire rumor no one could believe. But as the news was sinking in, there was no public uproar, no massive media assault, none of the flair and emotion that pours into the streets and down our TV screens when tragedy hits. That is reserved for legends, and Harry Chapin was just too accessible for that tag. He was a simple musician and an engaged storyteller who sung of ordinary people trying to come to grips with their lives. His music was his calling card, and he often used it to soothe listeners' minds before raising their awareness. It was a good deal. The audience got a song, he got their attention. Not just because who he was, but what he represented. He helped keep the Performing Arts Foundation from going under, and helped keep the Iglevsky Ballet on their feet. And he founded the Long Island Philharmonic. And he was a vital link between Suffolk and Nassau County businesses. For all that, Long Island should be grateful. More importantly, he was the founding father of both World Hunger Year and Long Island Cares hunger organizations, the cause in which he gave more of his time and talent than any other. For that, the world should be grateful. The simple truth is that Harry Chapin was too busy to die. He had many dreams to fulfill, dreams we will never know. Unfortunately, the Performing Arts Foundation has closed, and the Iglevsky Ballet continues to struggle. At this time, there are a group of congressmen campaigning to award the Congressional Medal of Honor to be given to the family of Harry Chapin. Kenny and Mary Ann Rogers, longtime friends of Harry, agreed to fund the World Hunger Media Awards, given as an inspirational tool for people to promote the awareness of hunger. The Chapin family has picked up where Harry has left off. Tom Chapin is a musical director and arranger of Cotton Patch Gospel, a stage play Harry had written the musical score for before his death. Steve Chapin is currently working on his production paralleling the 100th anniversary of the Brooklyn Bridge with a musical he has called Landmark. Now both Tom and Steve are musical directors and arrangers for the cabaret show that opens in Chicago in late October of '83, entitled Harry Chapin, Lies and Legends. But now it's time for others to step in and fill what many call a tremendous void, to remember not to forget the incredible example set by Harry Chapin, who in his own way learned a little about himself while teaching us a lot about each other. He was a vibrant person who was capable of inspiring people to do things they didn't even know they could do. It sounds almost trite, but Harry Chapin was bigger than life. As big as he was professionally, he had a heart that was bigger, and ideas that were far-fetched in others' minds, but well within reach of his own. He always kept on giving, never really expecting to get anything in return. Even with honors and memorials that have been established in his name, Harry Chapin insisting no debt is owed would just shake his head and say, keep the change.
I can see myself, it's golden sunrise. Young boy, open up your eyes. It's supposed to be your day.
All I can say is, I hope people have learned from Harry Chapin. And now let's have the sense to make the dreams live on. Harry Chapin wrote his story of life. When will you write yours?
The sun, the rain, the sweet despair, brave tales of love and strife. And somewhere on your path to glory, you will write your story of a life. And all the towns that you walk through and all the people that you talk to sing you their songs. And there are times you change your stride, there are times you can't decide, still you go on. And then the young girls dance their gypsy tunes and share the secrets of the moon. So soon you find a wife, and though she sees your dreams go poorly, still she joins your story of a life. Now sometimes words can serve me well, sometimes words can go to hell for all that they do. And for every dream that took me high, there's been a dream that's passed me by. I know it's so true. And I can see it clear out to the end, and I'll whisper to her now again, because she shared my life. Far more than all the ghosts of glory, she makes up the story. She's the only story of